I want to make this video just for those people who said to not pay over MSRP, just wait for Pokemon to print everything to the ground. What do you have to see at this point in the market? Like, realistically. Because people have been saying this since Surging Sparks. And the sort of irony of people talking about MSRP and don't pay above it is that this whole thing of just wait, it's gonna crash and everything, it started with Surging Sparks when booster boxes weren't even at MSRP yet. I don't know if you guys were here for the Surging Sparks release, but when the boxes were like 130 to 140, a large amount of people were saying it was too expensive. Just wait, just wait for it to crash on release. And it wasn't even MSRP. I was like 130, 140. And people already then were saying it's too expensive, even though now, people would go, crazy if you could buy a booster box for that much. But it didn't crash like people were anticipating it for. It dropped from like 160 to 150, then it kept going up. And here we are today, even after more supply hit the market, it's like 240. And it all just stemmed from that, where people, after Surging Sparks, consistently told people, just wait for it to go to MSRP, wait for it to crash, whatever. And you can see it hasn't really worked out. Because you look at every single set after Surging Sparks, nothing has gone below MSRP. None of those sets. And if you actually look at all the Scarlet and Violet sets, none of them are at MSRP. So I think this is when maybe some people will start to realize that this strategy is probably not going to work, of just waiting for everything to go MSRP. Because technically everything in Scarlet and Violet can get reprinted at this point. It can. Because I think it's April next year when some things will get rotated out of Scarlet and Violet. But other than that, everything still is in print. So for all the people saying don't buy over MSRP, well, all the stuff in Scarlet and Violet is still in print. So they're basically saying don't buy anything because everything is in print. Everything can get printed into the ground, what people say is possible. So that means they're telling you you shouldn't buy really anything. Well, if you haven't bought anything, let's say since Surging Sparks, because that's when everybody was preaching this stuff, you would have missed out on a lot of money. Let's say you bought Surging Sparks just above MSRP. Well, now it's at 240 or whatever. You would have been up a good amount. Prismatic Evolutions. The ETBs, obviously not so much because we just recently got a large supply of ETBs that have hit the market from Sam's Club, Costco. But, I've been showing you guys videos. I've been buying them up because this is the opportunity to buy them, which in a year from now, we'll see where they go, right? But all these other products, you could have bought above MSRP. PCTB specifically, from some restocks we got, they're already starting to go up. Pretty much anything. Destin Rivals, if you bought, at above MSRP, and now they're like 300 something, you would be doing pretty well. Journeys Together is sort of an anomaly, right? It's going up a little bit now. They're like 220 a booster box. So if you bought over MSRP, you still be doing fine. You still be, up. Any of these products, really, any of these sets, even Black Bull, White Flare, they're both around like $90 in ETB. You still be up, right? All these are above MSRP. And just to think about how many sets are above MSRP and how much Pokemon would realistically need to print, it's insane to think that that's going to happen, right? That all these, especially new sets, are going to all hit MSRP. It just doesn't seem possible. And I feel like people got to really think about this. It's like, is it more realistic that all of these sets will be at MSRP at some point? Or is it more realistic to say that, it's, for some of these, maybe they print some of the, not as popular sets, maybe that's possible. Or for some of these high-flying sets, like Destin Rivals, it doesn't seem very possible. And a big, piece of evidence of that is the most recent, restock or reprint, whatever you want to call it, we got with Prismatic Evolutions. A, high-flying set, a popular set. We got a ton of supply in a short period of time. And what happened to the prices of those products? Did they ever touch near MSRP? Did they crash? No. And it's like, how much product do we really need for these things to hit MSRP? It just seems almost impossible, because if Pokemon really wants to get prices down to MSRP for some of these sets, they're going to just need to focus on like one set. And it just doesn't seem like Pokemon really is going to do that. Because, we've seen Pokemon do reprints and stuff. they usually print multiple sets as well. People think that Pokemon's only going to print one set, and I mean, I don't know if there's really been evidence that Pokemon really just is like, okay, we're going to just print this one set. Because even if they do that, think about all the other sets that are going to get more expensive. Let's say Pokemon, because everybody likes to talk about Prismatic Evolutions, the only set that Pokemon even cares about being reprinted, right? It's really strange because when you talk about reprints and stuff, everyone just talks about Prismatic getting printed into the ground. Okay, well, how about Destined Rivals? Booster boxes are like 310, 320. They need to print that too. They need to print pretty much everything. Black Bull White Flare. The ETBs are $90. That's nearly as expensive as Prismatic. Those need to get printed. Journey Together. Everything needs to get printed. So, are people's theories still, if they're holding on to that just keep waiting, that Pokemon is going to print every one of these sets to the point where they hit MSRP or below? It just seems so unrealistic. And I mean, literally people have been saying this since Surging Sparks. And if you just didn't buy anything because you were hearing these people saying just to not pay not to pay above MSRP, you'd missed out on so much. And I feel like we are at that point now where in the next few months, if Pokemon doesn't reprint some of these products more, we're going to start seeing some of these go up even more. For example, the Prismatic ETBs, they just recently got reprinted, restocked. People are still saying they're going to print more, apparently, even though they've already printed hundreds of thousands of them. What happens if the market continues to be strong and they don't reprint more? Let's say where is it going to be in 3 months, 6 months? What are people going to say then? Oh, they're going to just keep waiting. It seems like just people on this other side, they just keep pushing things out to say just keep waiting, keep waiting. But the strategy doesn't really seem to be working. And people do truly forget that Pokemon has to print all of this other stuff that is coming up here in the future. Mega Evolution, the set after that. Pokemon, if they want to keep prices down, they're going to also have to print a large amount of the very new sets. So they're going to have to balance out, okay, we got to print all this, new stuff that's coming out because there's going to be a lot of demand. We have to print all this other stuff too. It's like, it just seems very unlikely that a lot of these things are going to get to the point of being MSRP. And if you're a collector, it doesn't matter, right? Because if you just want to pay retail, fair enough, you have a price point you want to pay to open packs up, whatever. But if you're trying to invest and make money, especially now, that strategy is getting worse. It just seems like it's getting worse and worse because we're not seeing any evidence of these people that are preaching this, don't pay above this amount. We're not seeing any evidence that this is a good strategy. But people on that side will just keep saying, keep waiting. But it's like, what are we waiting for? More supply? We already have evidence of more supply and how, the market reacted to it. Prices didn't drop much. And especially to some of these very, very, high demand sets, very expensive sets. Those ones, seemingly, if you try to even add more, things don't really change, right? You look at 151, you know how much that's been reprinted. It just seems like this whole waiting game is not working. Now, I don't want people to take this out of context, and that goes for anything, right? That I'm recommending buying, like, for example, Destined Rivals booster boxes right now. I'm not, right? It's like at 300 plus, I'm not recommending buying it, but it's the fact that people say this for anything above MSRP to not pay anything. Well, Destined Rivals, I can take that example. I paid $220 for each one of my booster boxes. I don't have many. I bought some of them just in the case that maybe they do start to skyrocket and maybe they don't drop much lower, which, that turned out to be true, right? I would have something. Like, I'm still up on them, right? And I paid above MSRP. I think a similar thing's going to happen with a lot of these sets. I think all the recent ones that people have been talking about, Prismatic and stuff, I think it's going to be the same thing. People say not to buy above MSRP, or just wait. I feel like the same story is going to be told, 6 months, a year from now, when things probably don't get printed into the ground enough, at least for them to reach MSRP. And then people later will still say, just keep waiting. It's like, how long do we wait for, guys? Can someone let me know? These people that are saying to just wait for everything to get printed, like, what is the point of waiting? That this strategy works? It just really is not. And that's why on every single one of these restocks, I've been telling you guys to take advantage and buy in. Prismatic Evolutions is the biggest one because those are the products we've been getting restocked up. PC ETBs, regular ETBs, all these other products. That's why I've been telling you guys, buy from the restocks. Because other than Prismatic, recently we really haven't gotten anything, right? All these other products, Destin, no restocks. Journey Together, no restocks. Black Boy White Fire just came out, right? All these things we haven't gotten restocks for, but the most recent one, Prismatic Evolutions, I've been talking about this entire time. Yet people obviously say, oh, you're just trying to shill or whatever. Okay, well, we'll see where things are in 6 months or whatever, 3 months, because obviously now prices are still down from the recent restock we got at Sam's Club like a few weeks ago. But whatever happens in a few months, we'll see if people are right that Pokemon prints more and more, hundreds of thousands of more. We'll see if they do that. But as for now, it just seems like a lot of these ideas that are out there that Pokemon is going to print all this stuff in massive amounts and everything's going to crash. It just doesn't seem like it's happening because we've had so much time since people have been saying this and nothing has really happened. No crashes, nothing like that. And I'm just still waiting to see that, like, what do people have to say that the people that told everyone to wait, where is the evidence of your strategy and what you said? Like, where is the evidence of that happening? Because I don't see it. Is it going to be in 3 months from now, 6 months? Like, how long are we waiting for this to work? Because all I see is just people that listen to you. They just missed out on great opportunities because they listen to you. And it is unfortunate, but a lot of these people that say don't buy above this price point stuff, they never get called out for giving people bad advice that, oh, you can no longer buy anymore, and if you want to buy it today, it's way more expensive. Like, nobody ever talks about that side. So that's all I want to talk about here. Is just the people that are giving this advice, they never say anything that they did, I guess wrong in a way where just wait, but then waiting costs you money. Some of the stuff you can wait on. Like Dastin Rivals Booster Box, for example, like I said, I'm not recommending buying it. But for some of these products that dropped in price because of free stocks, that was your chance. But if you kept telling people to wait and wait, I feel like really, at least in this market and how reprints and everything have been going, you're giving some, in my opinion, kind of bad advice because prices seemingly for these products just go up after the restock and all the supply is gone. I mean, look at the PCTs of Prismatic. I truly believe after Sam's Club, all this stuff, all the supply gets circulated around and people buy it up. And if the market continues to be strong towards the end of the year, I don't think you're going to be able to find them anywhere near $85 to $95 anymore like I've been buying them at, and which is why I've been buying them. Because I truly believe all these restocks we've been getting for these products are instant buys, and especially locally you can find some deals. I feel like if you're not buying, you're really missing out on a lot of these opportunities, and we will see in the future what Pokemon decides to do with reprints and stuff, but seemingly these reprints aren't dropping prices massively enough where they're going to drop to MSRP. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys have maybe, start to realize these people that are saying to not buy above these prices, how much money you've missed out on, because it's a large amount. So that's all I want to talk about in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.